Welcome back to another video. So 2 years ago I started my TURO journey and I started with one car. I had a LDV T60 that was spare. I listed it up on the TURO platform after seeing a video similar to this where someone had started a TURO car rental business. And upon that, one car, two cars, three cars, 4 to 7 to 10, and now as we sit we are at 14 cars on the TURO platform. So today I want to go through a bit of a journey of how I got there, what my numbers were in December. We actually had a record month in December, did almost $15,000. $15,000. Now of course that is revenue, not profitability, because at the end of the day in a business the only number that matters is profitability. If you're not making money, you don't have a business. So I want to go through that process of looking at December sales, looking at December costs, and looking at the overall business of having 14 cars on the platform. Now, I don't have all the answers. This is also a learning process for me. You may have 2 cars, 4 cars, 200 cars. There's no right or wrong. It's about doing what's best for you with what you can do and operate. But for me, I'm pretty excited about where this is going. Traditionally, December and January are quieter months for me. So December doing a $15,000 month. January's looking very, very similar. So I'm pretty excited about where it goes for March to September, which are my big months. At 14 cars, I think we're going to be pretty close. Who knows? I don't have the answer, but I think we'd be pretty close to sort of 20K months. But anything can happen. We take this business day by day. But let's step inside and have a bit of a look at a $15,000 month with a 14 car fleet. If you've been following along on my channel, you'll know I do have a Porsche Cayenne. It is an old Generation 1 4.5 litre V8, and this car has been a bit of a journey. It is not in good condition, and as you can see, it's pretty old. And this is my door. We had a stage where we replaced an actuator and the door actually got stuck. This is where we're at. Just to recap, this is December 2024. You can see 14,836. Now, if that was extrapolated across the 12 months, it'd be a bit different. Obviously, 87,000. When you had, I think we had 2 cars, January, February, March, 3, March, April. Didn't really ramp up cars until around this period here. Now, I had a few cars off the road as well, so the numbers are a bit skewed, but we'll go through that at the end of the video. I have a few cars here at the moment that have just come back the last few days, do a bit of a walkthrough and show you what we have. We have the LDV D90. This is a large 7-seater. Bought this car brand new. I believe it was $34,000. Almost had this car for 1 year. The Toyota Corolla, small hatchback, was listed at $16,500. Ended up paying $15,000 for this car. It is in for the wash bay, as you can see. This is our little wash tent and our cleaning area for our cars. This little tent I bought from, I think it was Bunnings. I paid $200 for it. I've had it for 2 years and it's still withstanding the sun, the elements. It's actually been one of the best buys I've ever had. The Toyota RAV4 hybrids, I bought 2 of these cars. In December with the Kia Carnival, I bought all 3. Paid $100,000 for all 3. I think these were $33,000 each. So we don't have a full year on the numbers of that car, but it had a pretty good start to December. Traditionally, December and January are the quiet months. I bought the 2 RAV4s and the Kia Carnival in December. I didn't really get them listed until about 10, 12 days in, I think it was. And then it was pretty quiet around Christmas period, so I didn't get too many bookings through that. But I think as we look towards the middle of this year, we're starting to get some pre-bookings in Easter and Christmas already. So I think it's going to be a pretty solid year for those cars. And this is the MG3 that has been on a hire for 10 days, I think it was. It's just been returned. It's been brought back in excellent condition, tidy, refueled. So I just have to give it a bit of a wash today. It goes out again tonight. Today's a bit of a big day. We've got a 5 a.m., a 5:30 a.m. This is a 9 a.m. drop back, and then I've got a 4 p.m. and a 9 p.m. This MG goes out at 9 p.m. at the airport. So a full day, a bit of a gap in the afternoon. The kids will appreciate that. Get to hang out with them for a bit. And then I'll be back to work tonight to get that car to the airport and meet that guest. So a bit of a big day. So the small cars like the MG and the Toyota Corolla generally take me about 15-20 minutes to get cleaned and ready for the next guest. I've really found that as soon as the car comes back, is when you need to be getting that car clean, because I've been caught a few times where I haven't cleaned it when it comes back and then it gets rebooked that same day, and I've got to race back into the shop here and get it clean and get it ready for the next customer. So what I've found, a bit of a tip, is as soon as the car comes back, this one's come back right now, as soon as it comes back, I get it cleaned, washed, ready, because you want to be ready for someone to book with short-term notice, in 1 hour, 2 hours notice, and I can be back here and give them the keys without stressing about, is the car clean and ready? Because when you've got a fair few cars, in the early days at 1 or 2 cars it wasn't a problem, but when you get to sort of 5+ cars, it's really hard to keep track of where everything's up to all the time. And the sheer volume of bookings is pretty high, so you want to make sure your cars are ready and available 24 hours a day. One of the other benefits of cleaning the cars as soon as they get back is you can pick up on damage before you miss that window to submit it. In the early days when I first started, I had chipped windscreens and little stone chips and damage that I then couldn't claim because I hadn't taken the right photos and uploaded it and gone through the correct TURO process to ensure that I could then on-charge the customer for that damage. So now, as soon as the car gets back, photos all around, inside and out, and then before I check that guest out, I make sure I give it a clean, and then I can pick up any window chips or window cracks that I wouldn't have picked up previously. So it's going to save you a lot of money in the long run. As you know, I'm a big advocate for rubber floor mats, and this is why. Still pretty clean. I don't have to vacuum, extract, I can hose it, scrub it, dry it, get it back in the car, easy. So if you didn't have rubber floor mats, you'd have all that sand all through the carpet of the carpet floor mats, and if you've done any detail cleaning of cars, that's an absolute time sucker. So in the space of just 2 or 3 minutes, all 4 floor mats are clean, hung up to dry, and they're ready to go back in. Easy. Oh, it is hot today. I think it's 44 degrees. Beautiful Queensland weather, but it's a tough day to be washing cars, hence why we have the undercover tent. But a couple of things when you're getting a car ready for hire, it's ensure you do tire pressures, window washer water, is that what you call it? But those little 1%ers will ensure that you are giving yourself the best possible chance to get a 5-star review. As you know, in any business, 5-star reviews are massively important to the long-term success of your business, but especially with a platform like TURO, where it's a car sharing platform, you need to make sure you are giving yourself the best opportunity to get a 5-star review. Car clean, immaculate, tire pressures done, services up to date, all the maintenance done, everything ready to go so that your customer can then go away, experience the drive, experience their hire, and ensure they have a good time, because that's going to be the backbone of your business, 5-star reviews. So I also want to go through a few of my products that I use every day when it comes to keeping the cars clean. The main products I use, Bowden's Bugger Off. This is great for removing the bugs off the front of the car. A lot of my clients are running up and down the highway. Cars are coming back covered in bugs. This destroys them very quickly. Window cleaner. I've been through a few window cleaners. The Meguiar's glass cleaner. Perfect Clarity I've found to be the best so far. A couple of other ones. This one, Fabricadabra, is really good for spot cleaning your seats and floors if you need to. If you don't need to do a full extraction, really good for spot cleaning. And this one, the Meguiar's Hyper Dressing. This is very good for keeping your plastics black and just giving the overall condition of the plastics interior and exterior in really good condition. A couple of other ones. The Miracle Orange is good for removing chewing gum and sticky spots. These little brushes I use for cleaning the air conditioning vents. Water spot remover if needed. This one's a quick detail. If a car's been on a quick hire and isn't super dirty, I can just give it a quick spray and wipe. Some Vinyl Revival. Now I do also cut and polish my cars pretty regularly. This one's really good for the color white, the Ultimate Compound. Otherwise I use a couple of other for deeper cuts if needed. When it comes to drill brushes, I've tried a heap. Surprisingly, this Ryobi brush has been really, really durable and effective. When it comes to an everyday car wash, this is the one I use, the Bowden's Nanolicious. There is a version 2.0 of this. I ended up buying this 20 litre because it was very cost effective, and they're on special because they're bringing out a new version. A few other items you might want to get: the Bizzle Spot Clean, which is the extractor, and it helps clean your car seats when they're really, really filthy. I use the Azito sprayer. I use that to spray the products when I'm putting it to extract. And of course the Karcher steam cleaner. And you have to get yourself one of these, the Karcher wet and dry vac. On top of that, I have a bucket full of rotated clean microfiber cloths, and of course the drying towel, because you want to try and prevent your cars from getting water spots. So it's really important that you use good products and you take the time to take care of your cars, because not only does it ensure you get 5-star reviews, but it also ensures you're looking after the long-term value of your asset. At the end of the day, you've paid a lot of money for these assets, and you've got to make sure you're keeping them in tip-top condition, keeping them out of the elements, looking after the best you can, because ultimately when you go to sell these vehicles at some point, because at some stage you're going to want to sell them, whether you're upgrading or downsizing your fleet or trading them in, you're going to want to make sure you get the maximum return on these vehicles, because that is your primary asset. You don't want to buy a car for $10,000, make $5,000 for the year, and sell the car for $5,000. You've essentially made nothing. You want to be able to buy the car undervalued. You want to be able to buy a $15,000 car for $13,000, look after it, and then sell it in 2 years' time for that same $13,000 or $12,000. And you've used that income, use that time to generate income off that vehicle. So take good care of your assets. The detailing side of the business, I think, is really important, because once you've been cleaning cars for a little while, there's a real art form to cleaning and detail cleaning and polishing the vehicles, and it's a real opportunity for you to add that to your business for other customers as well. So what I did from sort of March to September, we started offering to clean customer cars, and then from there we picked up a few car yards, and at $200, $300, $400 a clean, depending on the level of detail you are doing, it actually turns out to be a pretty lucrative add-on. Now, it is back-breaking work. It is tough work. If you're doing 10 cars a day, that's a lot of revenue, a lot of profit added onto your business, but it's also a lot of time and back-breaking work. So there's that as well. It's a physical job, detailing cars, but like, you're there anyway. You have the products anyway. And as you grow and expand your fleet, you'll have employees, and then you can add that as an additional service. And you can look to add a few $1,000s a month, if not a week, if you're doing it really well. So what that can do is then offset the cost of other parts of your business. So when you have a look at adding a lease location like I'm looking at now, that may be a $5,000 or $7,000 per month option to add on. Now, to help mitigate some of that cost, I can then offer detailed cleaning of cars and have a side business to the TURO business of detail cleaning. And from that, that'll help offset some of that monthly cost, the overheads of that lease on that building. Now, further to that, I've been looking into lately is offering VIP parking and getting a location that's only 2-3 minutes from the airport, doing a cheaper parking alternative. So at the moment, the airport parking where I am, they offer undercover parking. They don't offer locked, closed parking. So undercover parking, they're charging about $150, $160 a week. Now, we're a mining area. A lot of mining vehicles have a lot of tools in the back. So what I'm looking at doing then is getting a high-end facility and then offering lockable storage for your vehicle. And for cars that are high-end or have a lot of tools or equipment in the back, that's a great option for them. And then for me, say I had 20 cars, just throwing spitballing numbers, say at 20 cars, $100 a week, that's $2,000 a week that you can then help offset some of that cost of the lease on that premises. And then having a secure gated facility, and then offering VIP transport to the airport there and back, and having it available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now, on top of that, I've also thought about, you could then offer, because you're doing detail cleaning there as well, you could then offer the option of having the customer's car cleaned while they're away, whether it's a work car or they're away on holiday, and then when they get back, the car is detail cleaned, ready to go, and having that as an option as well. So a real VIP overall experience. So I've sort of been looking at that as an option as well because taking on a big lease is pretty scary. Most commercial leases will start from about 2 to 3 years terms. So at 55k a month plus outgoings, you're looking at 65k a year. Across 3 years, it's 180 grand you're going to be locked into. So you're going to need a fair few car bookings to offset that cost. So allowing you to then do VIP parking or detailed cleaning will really help take some of that pressure off having to achieve those monthly lease payments, I think. This is something you should look at if you haven't for your TURO business. I have created a Google My Business profile, and this is the interactions I'm getting each month on my profile. These are my phone calls. So you can see 50, 76 November, 56 December, 27 in January. Looking for directions to my location. And my TURO, on my Google My Business profile, I have my TURO listing, and these are all the hits I get to my website, which is direct to my TURO profile. So if you're not doing this, I think you're missing out on some real opportunities to grow your business. Now, if we have a look here in December, we're going to see December sales. We're looking at 14,836, and just some reimbursements of $200 from fuel, I think it was. But overall, a pretty healthy year. So we started the year with just a couple of cars, and as you can see, we've grown the fleet as we go, up to 6 cars here, I think it was 6 or 7 through September, October, and then we added the 14 to December. So I think we have a look individual cars will give us a better picture. So the Hyundai Accent, we can see pretty consistent earner. Haven't had it for very long, but 1637, 980. Had a few cancellations here for some flight cancellations, and then it was off the road in December because we had a blown aircon compressor. Took about 2 weeks to get that part in before I could get it installed in my workshop. So overall, 6,000 earned for 2024. A pretty good start for that car. Yeah, as you can see in December there. Now, next car, the Hyundai i30. Also haven't had this car very long. 1,852. Got it in October. So listed November and December. And pretty consistent earner. I think it'll be sit around that 1,200, 1,100 per month earner for this vehicle. Had a few long-term bookings on this one. It's actually out on a 2-month booking at the moment. So we'll see how that stacks up for the first half of 2025. The Kia Carnival. So we picked this up in December, and I'm pretty sure we had just the one booking through December. But moving forward, I think that's going to be a pretty successful car. I've priced it pretty aggressively to start with, as in the early days you want to book up as many 5-star reviews as you can. So I'm happy to break even on that car for a few months to build up some 5-star reviews and look to become profitable towards the back end of next year. The Kia Cerato, also had that since July. I bought that vehicle, so pretty consistent earner this one. 16, 1,300, 1,000 with a cancelled booking. 1,000 November and 1141 December. The LDV D90. So this is a large 7-seater. This is a very consistent earner. It's made 13,664 in essentially, got it in April, so 8 months. So 1,260, almost 2,000, 1,580, 1,480, 15, 1,690. So pretty consistent around that 1,500 per month mark. That car's on about 30,000 Ks. I did sort of unlimited Ks, that vehicle. Then I have the 2 LDV T60s, the dual cab Utes. This one I've had for a fair while. It's done 13,473. It's got about 23,000 Ks on it. This one I use for helping out my friends a bit as well. When they're needing a vehicle, a second vehicle for their family, or maybe their car's in the workshop getting fixed. I use this car to help a lot of my friends out as well. But consistently, I think it would sit around that 1,500 per month mark if it was out all the time. So we'll see how it goes in 2025. The other LDV T60, I bought this with the D90 back in April, so 11,231. Again, pretty consistent earner. I think it averages around that 1,500, pretty 1,300 per annum, per month. Sorry, not per annum. So we'll see how that ends up in 2025. The dual cabs have been very good earners. The small MG3, we have a look at this vehicle. This vehicle had a big smash. Someone ran into a kangaroo, smashed the front end, smashed the back end. But previous to that, it was consistently around that 1,000, and it seems to be around that 1,200 now that it's back in action. This is the cheapest car in my fleet, and I paid, I'm going to guess here, 14,990 maybe for this car. So 8,500. All things going to plan, it should be up for the whole year, and that'll look around, make around 12, 14,000 per annum. Still got low Ks. I think it's about 60,000 Ks on that one. So we'll see how it goes for another year or two, I think. Next car, the Mitsubishi ASX. I paid $8,000 for this car from a customer through the workshop who couldn't afford the repairs, and picked it up in November. And it's had a couple of long-term bookings. I'm not sure if you remember when TURO first brought out that long-term discount for and reduced kilometer when it first came out. Someone booked my car that next day. They got a 50% discount. They bought a 6-week booking for $600. 6-week booking for $600. I accepted the booking. The lady was very nice. She's a nurse that was flying in for 6 weeks, and was happy to execute that for her. And she did a great job, looked after the car really well. She was super happy and super nice. I was happy to get that done, but I've changed my discounts since that booking. Mitsubishi ASX, this is the white ASX. If you could believe it, the first hire, lady went straight through a car park and smashed into a tree and smashed the front end, the headlight, the bumper. Had to be repainted, repaired, replaced. So I was out for 2 months. Essentially, so I've only had that car for really 2 months, 15.10 in November and 12.90 December. So hopefully that's a consistent 12 to 1,300 per month earner. The number one car in the fleet, the Mitsubishi Outlander, did a full year, $16,739 for the year. Very consistent. It's a small 7-seater, which is great for people traveling, great for small families, having that extra 7 seats in the back, and it has a really big boot space as well. So a lot of people love this car. It's really easy to drive, fuel efficient. I've never really been a Mitsubishi fan until I bought this car, and now, yes, I absolutely love it. And but it's a pretty consistent earner, as you can see from the stats there. But $27,990 I paid for this car. So you can see December 1889, and all the holiday periods, June holidays, September holidays, December holidays, the 7-seaters are at their peak usage. So I might try and squeeze a few extra dollars in those periods for 2025. Try and put my prices up by 10% maybe. Toyota Corolla, so this is the one I paid. It was listed at $16,500, local dealership here. I paid $15,000 for it. It's got 120,000 Ks, but it's a Toyota. It'll last forever. Did 1,123 in December. So we'll see what that looks like for a full year, 2025. And 2 more cars, the 2 RAV4s. Top of my head, these were 33,000 each, maybe 34, I can't remember. But I picked these up in December, early December, and they only had 1 or 2 bookings each through December. These are really nice cars, low Ks, hybrid Toyotas, smooth to drive. Everyone that's hired them so far has been raving about the driving experience in those cars. So, but I do have loans on them, so we'll see how they go. A couple of forward bookings in 2025 for both the RAV4s, so pretty excited about what that looks like when we get to December of 2025 as well. So yeah, overall a pretty good year. December was very good. Had some issues with a few cars during the year, the crash of the MG, the crash of the Mitsubishi ASX. But if we have a look at the full year, so you can see January we're looking around that 12,000, 13,000 so far. I'm expecting a few late bookings this week to come through that everyone's back to work. And a bit of a recap there. All of our cars, all of my cars, I always say our because it's my wife and I. And so really I'm looking forward to seeing around that $15,000 to $20,000 per month with the 14 cars operational, and really want to break down what that looks like each month. So January, February, March. I think March to September is going to be really strong data. That'll give me a good understanding about what the market wants to see in my area moving forward, and that'll tell me what cars I should buy moving forward as well. So let's see how we go in 2025.